Yeah, hello, good people. Richard here. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing a video at this point in time, but I feel compelled to do it because I found myself lost in the forest, even when my plans were different. So I'm gonna walk with you and let's see how it works. This is purely spontaneous, again, as a result of being lost in the forest. Naturally, I began this career journey when I decided to keep fit. I think about 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, but I came to the forest I think 2 weeks ago. Now today, despite me knowing what exactly happens in the forest, despite me knowing the routes, having jogged in here for quite some time, I found myself in a very unfamiliar territory. And again, I had timed myself. I wanted to do like 45 minutes again because I have a meeting scheduled. So but then when I found myself lost, there's nothing I could do about it. So I had to succumb to the pressure of the reality of my situation as at now. So again, I think what came to mind is maybe the title would be "Necessity is the Mother of All Inventions." That phrase just came to mind because again I found myself going to a different gate, because there are a couple of gates in here in the forest, and I found myself also in a territory where it's fenced off. So I don't know how I got in there, but I had to cross a river, and it was a very, unfortunately at that time I didn't have an idea of actually doing a video. So in the end I found myself having to find my way. So I wish I'd recorded that. Anyway, but that what came to mind at the time was the fact that when you find yourself in a situation where you have no option but to handle, you will always find a way. Now I had options to walk back again, which was about maybe another 20 minutes backwards. But then at the time I thought that I would find somehow a route. Then I found myself in I would imagine a fenced off area with electric fences and stuff like that. I could smell snakes all over the place, because if you've ever encountered a snake, you know that they have a smell, especially when they peel off. It's like boiled rice, the scent that comes out of that. So now I was in a situation where I'm right under thick trees. You cannot know what is above you or beneath you. I could see thickets. That means if you went to a park with the big fives, lions like to hide in thickets, and they like a flat land. So I would get myself but I knew also that I have not actually at least heard of any of the big fives existing in the AForest, because it's pretty much a public place where there's a lot of I would say caution. So I sort of didn't worry about that. But again, I believe, and I'll check later, that this place is famous of snakes. I'm not sure actually if it's a rainforest, and unfortunately I cannot double check that now, but by and large it's a river in between, so you could imagine it's a prime place for snakes to harbor, of course the common things like monkeys or a lot of reptile family sort of like animals would be all over the place. But anyway, nonetheless, I believe I found the route, which is longer to where I'm supposed to be. Normally my usual target steps would be around 10,000, but normally when I come to Karura, I end up doing around 14,000. So I don't know, but I'm definitely sure this definitely will surpass. So on the downside, I've missed my target in terms of making my meeting on time. I guess I'll have to apologize. I mean, there's usually not very good reception in here, so maybe there's even no point in calling. After all, I'm not even sure how long it's gonna take me to get to the gate through which I entered, and I'll be able to now exit successfully. Again, also as a result of that, I found myself, as you can see, injured, because I was going through, very thick, I would say bushes or thickets, whatever you could call them. And in fact, at some point, after crossing the river, I thought all was done. But then I realized I'm trapped in an enclosure. And normally, as you can see, for example, here, you could see that there is a fence, right? So these are electric fences. What I don't know is if these fences have, power active during the day. I would want to imagine no, because again, it's a public place, and I think this place receives a good number of visitors on a daily basis, probably in thousands. I'm not sure. I don't have the statistics, but I'm sure if someone went out there online, they'll be able to find that information. So, so what saved me out of that thicket was the fact that there had been a huge tree that had fallen off this electric fence. Now, of course, I'm insulated because I'm wearing rubber shoes, but also I'm not sure if those shoes could in themselves, give me protection. Oh, quick one, and now normally when you come to Karura, you would see these signposts. Of course, sometimes monkeys and some of these animals come and raid them. However, the biggest piece of advice, you should be able to understand what the color codes mean. And in my adventurous approach to life, especially when I come to nature, is I don't want to compromise my mind with focusing so much on the routes, and so I rely heavily on those written signposts. But sometimes it could be counterproductive, like in a day like this one, or it could border on idiocy, for lack of better words, But I think for me, the way to fully experience nature, as you can see, it's a very beautiful place. It's always cool, and even when it's sunny, the trees are able to give you the shade you need. So I think we've been having mild rains. I think before the short rains come, and then we go back to some form of some aversion. And in fact, if you've heard of the Mara, there's this thing called the wild beast crossing, which is I think it's the 7th wonder of the world. You have millions of wild beasts that cross from I believe as from May, June, they're usually in across the border in Tanzania, in a park called Serengeti. So normally in that period, Serengeti tries to dry out, right? And they tend to cross over to now the Masai Mara National Park, which is in a place called Narok, I believe. And and that's the time when there's a bit of because when the Serengeti is dried up, the Mara is receiving rain. So there's a lot of pasture that, you know, over time grows. So the animals the beasts cross over. They have to go through a river, and obviously it's always feasting time for the predators like lions and leopards and all these other carnivorous, crocodiles and stuff like that. So I'm saying that maybe if the next if I go to Mara, perhaps I would one day, show you the experience to those that I've probably never experienced. So why I'm mentioning the Mara is because when they do cross over, they tend to so now when the rain seasons are out again, I guess it usually starts from last month, I think last month or somewhere like that. So by October, I think they start crossing from August, if I'm not wrong. Again, I have not looked at the data, so there could be a bit of misinformation, but quite unintended. So please just do not take my word for it in that sense, because I've been to the Mara, but I've not had an opportunity to go there when the crossing is happening. I think the last time I was there, it was around October, and they were pretty much, they had exited back to Serengeti in Tanzania. But of course, you could see the heaps of dung and stuff like that, and carcasses, I call them carcasses, carcasses, or as a result of the leftovers from the predator after having eaten these animals. So anyway, so this being technically a dry season, you wouldn't expect so much rain. So I guess it's a good time to come to the forest and blend with nature and just chill and hang out. Of course, we are having a bit of short rains. I think of course, global warming is real, so there's been a bit of interference with the patterns. So we've been getting some rains, but mild though. So yeah, so basically this is, like I said, spontaneous. I usually do the videos on mostly weekends or my days off, because it's a passion for me. Today is a working day for me, but because I have a very intense afternoon, I opted to put in the workout early, so that now I don't miss out in the evening, because I know most likely I would not find the time. Anyway, so I want to journey with you a little bit. Perhaps you could experience the forest through my eyes, and I'm hoping that my camera will not switch off without my my knowledge. So there's a chance you may see something, or a bit of minutes when I'm now tracing my way back, or if we're not lucky, it might as well decide to do its thing. But yeah, again, I'm not in my usual time for doing serve your time sort of videos, but again, like I said earlier, necessity is the mother of all inventions. So this just came, and again, the nature of my videos is such that I speak about things and how as and when they happen to me, because I do not want to fix my mind to a schedule or to a specific sort of content, because that's not what I'm trying to achieve here. And again, I'm always hopeful that somehow, somewhere, someone somewhere out there will pick a lesson or two, and see what to do with it as in relation to life. But before I I take you to the world, I just remembered. So how I exited, and I think I'll put a picture on the video. How I exited the forest was rather the enclosure. There had, like I said, there had been a huge, I think, fig tree or something like that had fallen, and it had fallen off the electric fence. So it had created some level of like a crossover, to the promised land. Perhaps for the Christians, you could that could have been that Moses crossing the Red Sea, running away from Pharaoh and his counterparts. Now, obviously, it was a risk, because when you find yourself in such situations, because you don't know whether or not the power is on, you perhaps don't even have signal, and I couldn't see any ranger, so we couldn't even call on anyone. So the risk for me was that yeah. Oh God, there's a little animal. I don't know if you can see from a distance. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. Oh, too bad. I can't. It's you can see there's an antelope, I believe, that is living its normal life in its comfort zone, and us guys, perhaps it's, in its space, and we're trying to equally coexist. Anyway, so the risk for me was that I could easily have been shocked, assuming there had been power, because naturally a tree that has not dried up could be there's usually a very high chance that because it has water in itself, and it could actually be a carrier of electricity. So I was probably risking being shocked, but then along the way I had picked up a dry stick, not because I needed support to walk, but I think instinctively I was thinking to myself, well, I could end up encountering a snake, or who knows, maybe some wild animal, and people are actually enjoying the nature. It's so nice. I would recommend this for everyone, actually. Before I used to run off the main roads, I used to go to the gym a lot and maybe to the field, but I think that obviously cardiovascular exercises have a lot of benefits, but of course there I did my body composition, and after I began the health journey, and I found out that the good news was that I have majority of my body is muscle mass, which I believe was around 58.9%. But now on the downside, I had what we call my fat percentage was 28.3 or something like that, and ideally the normal range should be between 7 and 20. So for me, again, actually when I went for the body composition, the idea for me was I want to get to a certain number of weight, because my perfect BMI given my weight is already around 68, 69. So in my head I thought, okay, if I get to 75, that's like weight I can live with. So when I go to the hospital, the doctor asked me, what's your aim, why are you doing this? So that was my straight up answer. And then I was shocked to learn that of course after the results came out, that it doesn't necessarily mean that if you have heavy weight Of course, most of you perhaps on this community would know this. I didn't know this, but weight is in itself a key consideration. So I thought, but I was actually schooled and informed that you must always focus on your muscle mass vis-a-vis your fat percentage, and so meaning that ideally, yes, 75 I think would still be okay, but again, I don't have to worry so much about that. My main focus would be on the fat percentage, bring it down to the normal rates, and also then after that I'll have to increase the muscle, which means I may not have a choice but to go back to lifting weights. And then in that case, then, because naturally I have heavy muscle mass, so maybe a day or two in the gym, or even for now starting to incorporate in my workout muscle mass sort of exercises like push-ups and all that, and maybe Kegel exercise for the pelvic and stuff like that. Anyway, and also again, because of the fat percentage slightly being 8% over and above the normal, it also affected. What is this though? Could it be a baby? Hi, hello, come here, little one. Can you guys see that? I don't know if this is please comment if you know this animal, but clearly I thought instinctively, given the horns, it could be a male, sort of like no, when I said earlier, maybe the first thing that comes to mind, it could be the male version of the animal I said earlier. What was it? Anyway, remember I would say. Anyway, so because of the high fat percentage, 8% higher than the desired one, it affects my physique, which stood, that is like almost a month ago or 3 weeks ago at 3. So the ideal range for me should be, I should aim to between 5 and 6. Going beyond that would be also very necessary. Anyway, to finish off the story of the tree of crossing the electric fence. So again, I risked being shocked, but I was I took solace in the dry piece of wood I had, and the fact that I had shoes on. There's a monkey. And also having rubber shoes on, it was just really a leap of faith, for lack of better words, and luckily I crossed over successfully, with no shock or anything that would put me in a position of fear or worry for my for my health or any danger. So then I found myself again in another territory, on a tarmac version of Carrera, which again was far from what I thought was leading me to the gate. Again, people are always kind in life, for the most part, despite the tough reality of life as we know it. So I was able to get some guidance. So anyway, perhaps I don't want this to be a very long video. I'll probably do a few minutes of the jokes so I can finish off. And welcome to journey. You're welcome to journey with me. And I guess in terms of my face on the camera, this could be a sign off. There maybe it'll be 3 or 4 5 minutes of the world, so that you can easily also see how beautiful this place is. So again, always grateful. I love this doing this. I guess again, I mean, this is true passion. I feel all the time I feel motivated. Like I said in my last video, I watch these videos myself, and in a way it's an inspiration for me as well, and that also speaks into the reason why I do this. So journey with me, and as usual, God bless you, God bless Africa, God bless Kenya, and let's check this out. Richard Fish was out, but maybe I'll say a few words as we go if something comes to mind. All right then, let's do this. It's gonna be a bit of okay. All right. Let's see if we can get the rod. Things. Camera is still on. Okay, starting right there. So, to be fair, I'm actually really tired, because I think Korea is a very interesting space, because you might not know where what road will lead you if you're not like particular to, if you're like me, you want to just get lost in the wild and just be adventurous, of course within within the confines of safety, because that's what really Corolla gives you, because it allows you to be in a space where one way or the other you get to an end point. However, it's a big forest actually, and credit to the late Novelet, Lady Masai Wangari. She fought so hard to have this forest reserved, so that many years later the likes of us and everyone you could see are able to enjoy the beauty of nature. And I think it cost her a life in one way or the other. So again, it also speaks into serving your time, because I believe this wonderful, amazing human served her time by dedicating her life purpose to to conserving nature. And credit to the government of Kenya, they have lived to that expectation, because I mean, governments can always make decisions, but at least for the last so many years, the forests across the country, by the way, have been fairly high conserved, and preserved. And I think Nairobi city is one of those cities where you would definitely find a forest almost in every corner, and at least also I like the fact that the people that live in the country, we respect that, and and support the cause, of course. Now, like, I think for Karura, I mean, if you came with a vehicle, if you were a resident or citizen, you would pay, I think, a total of 300 Kenya shillings, which would come to around $2 or $2.50. And but also, if you don't have a vehicle, if the vehicle is charged 200 shillings rather, which is again about $1.50. Then the individual is always charged 100 shillings, which is below $1, maybe 80 cents or thereabout. So, but then I also discovered that oh, there's another little. Do you guys see that? Oh, it's so weird. I mean, the first time I decided to take chances on doing a spontaneous video, I have actually been able to see a couple of animals. I think those ones belong to the antelope family. If I'm not wrong, but there's a specific one, and those are like almost, I think that the majority in most of these parks and forests, generally in East Africa, from my experience. Anyway, so for Karura, I discovered they have actually a package. You could pay for an annual pass, which goes for at the moment a total of around 26,000 and a few shillings on top, which would probably translate to around approximately $200, right? However, I learned the hard way, and as a lawyer, we have a principle called delay defeats equity, right? So I had planned to pay for the membership much earlier, but I kept on procrastinating, taking my time to make the decision, because I wasn't sure whether I should go back to working out in my club, Impala Club, where I have membership, or even run the hill close to my my house, which is completely free. So the day I made the payment last week but one. So the day I came, I think it was a Thursday, the other week. It happened that there had been a transition in management. But previously, for the longest time, the forest had been managed by the Kenya Forest, I believe, authority, something like that, and it was mostly being treated as a standalone, not-for-profit entity within the structure of the government, but I had been allowed to independently manage the forest across the country, of course. So the day I came, that very day, in fact, the government had taken over management. I don't know why, but I believe it's for reasons that best known, and most likely a good thing, because again, this is government property after all. So a difference of 24 hours cost me, nearly $40 in excess, because then they had introduced value-added tax. There's a platform called eCitizen, through which we now pay, which in itself has a fee. So my delay, and actually the reason for my delay was beyond making a decision. I think 2 days prior to that, I had checked out the site, because all payments were online on the KFA website, FOK, Friends of Karura, and there was a bit of there were no the details in terms of what you get when you pay a different package were a bit shallow. So maybe I guess the layer knew wanted to know details, and sometimes that's also a downside in terms of what I expect if I'm to pay for an annual pass. So yeah, that cost me, but overall that didn't stop me, because I have already made up my mind, and I think it's one of the best decisions I've done for my mental and general body health, because I think keeping healthy in itself, at a certain, I guess, phase in life, it's viewed as either luxury or something that you do, as and when you feel motivated. But however, I think if you get to, again, depending on your life journey and depending on age and experiences, because personally I had a very challenging year, and was extremely stressful, so I didn't have actually an option but to take up a health lifestyle. Of course, I had been on that journey, and I think I lost track in 2022 when I lost my elder brother and closest family friend. Sorry? Oh, you mean the river? You just have to go straight. Straight, then I think the second right turn, you'll see there will be the waterfall, you mean, right?
Yes.
You will be able to see it, but it's quite a distance. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, I had to, I guess, pay forward my assistance to the resource I got earlier. So people are always friendly in the forest, sometimes actually you find people struggling to run, or you're struggling, someone just says, well, let's run together. So it's really a very like nice way, and I think the nature has a way of making people put aside their problems and just be human. So anyway, so yeah, after I lost my brother, I think in 2022 July, I really had because I think I had never lost a sibling, for starters. This is a guy who I'd always been looking up to. We usually lived together in the same house for I think from when he left our parents. It was just too heartbreaking, too depressing. So I think at that point I sort of, I lost motivation, and so I remember, I think the last time I was at the gym, well, I think I worked out for another couple of months, maybe close to over a year, and I think the only reason was, but of course that was now I wasn't doing the normal routine, that is 4 days in a week. So I think it used to like 2. Again, the one thing that kept me, going back to the club was at the time I was involved in the leadership. I was a board member, so we were going through a transition, and there was always a need for me to be there physically, so that helped me, I think, hanging. But the moment we got in a new leadership, I remember quite clearly that was August 2023. That was the last time I stepped to the gym. But anyway, fast forward, I certainly through, again, the challenging work phase I've had since, I believe, December, through, I think, a bit of pressure reduced last month, or you would say somewhere in July. If you saw one of my videos, think there's a video called Acceptance Like Water. So he spoke about that sort of situation when I really hit rock bottom, and then that's when I actually became a coach, and then from that point on everything began flowing. Obviously still works in progress, but it was then, I pretty much remember on the 26th day of July, 26th is when I had now that realization, but I think that was Saturday, because I had gone through some very emotional, at the personal level, sort of like downfall, and in a way that triggered my mind, and made me rethink things, and I think the Thursday, that was Saturday, the Thursday of the following week is when now I began now going back to the journey. And actually from that point on I began seeing house living as it's not even like, it's not an option, The same way we eat, you have to work out. There's no two ways around it, so it's a necessity. And I think ever since then I've lost around 6 kgs. Obviously I need to do more to fully achieve the journey. Anyway, enough with talking. Let's jog a little bit, because I think I can see the gate closed. So perhaps I'll give you 2 minutes of a cheeky jog. Yeah, let's go. So you have to watch the car and not to do that. This also means that the chickens probably are fairly separate, because I'd imagine people like these ones, they get rates from, let's say, from the transport department, the weather forecasters. And then there's a nice restaurant, my favorite actually. It's called the River Cafe. It's actually a nice place. It's to be honest. You know, now they have, my favorite is the green tea there. So, now we're back. Now this is us back to the parking, and wow. This was something. Getting lost is one thing that what happens to you when it happens to you. Again, the other bit is how you embrace it. Is always a critical aspect of you know, overcoming some of these scenarios. Oh no, just blew out my headphones. Okay, my earphones. Forgot that. I'd sort of like hidden them in my cap. Yeah. So yeah, good people. So this is it. Just you know.